Select a stream right there. Refresh it.
We're there.
Hey, we made it, I think. All right, let's pull that screen up there too. Hey, we made it, I think. Oh, there, they found us. Good. Sorry for the technical issues, guys. That was not on purpose. We're new to the live streaming and excited to see what y'all have for us there too. Oh, there, they found us. Good. Sorry for the technical issues, guys. That was not on purpose. We're new to the live streaming and we don't need our voices. We can hear that. Okay. That's why they have the earphones. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm Cody. This is Charlie. We're with 1845 Barndominiums. Glad to have everybody here tonight, and hope we're able to answer some questions for you guys. So, how many should we have here, Charlie? Do we know yet?
Yeah, let me look real quick. Looks like we've got 16 people right now. We've had 47 in. We've got 16 in here currently. So we're going to start off. Let's start with a question that we got yesterday.
Yeah.
So we posted a video yesterday to kind of let you guys know that we were we're going to do this tonight at 7 o'clock. And the first question that we got was we had a question about spray foam, and it was a local barn door builder with this user had been informed that you cannot spray foam directly to a metal building.
Yeah.
And so they were asking, they've seen different things on YouTube, and their contractor there is telling them that they can or they can't. And they're just wanting to know what our stance is, or can we help them out or give them a comment on what our thoughts are there.
Yeah. So that's a good question. So I can't speak for the manufacturer that your contractor's referring to because I'm not sure who they are. I kind of give you a little bit of the background of what that looks like. So my understanding from way back when, I've used spray foam probably for, 10 or 12 years, something like that.
Yeah.
The original composite, the original combination of chemicals together didn't stick real well on plastic or any kind of poly. So they preferred to stick straight to the metal. So what you're probably seeing on YouTube, whatever it may be, is they want to spray straight to the metal. That's not, we do that much anymore. You can still spray directly towards the metal, but it's not something that you have to do on our end. The reasoning why they may be saying about it may void the warranty, potentially, if you do as a closed cell, it creates a really strong vapor barrier, air barrier there. It'll hold water and potentially would cause the sheet to rust.
Yeah.
An open cell wouldn't really create that, but the warranty would really only be, I think, voided if you dealt with something that was holding the water inside of the actual panel itself. So I can't speak to that. That is a possibility with a manufacturer there too, but a lot of manufacturers, it will not void the warranty on that spraying directly to the panel. And I don't have an issue with that. We actually had a hailstorm here locally, I think last April. I built a house in 17, the Loretta actually, on one of our videos. We had to replace the roof because it had like 2 or 3 inch hail, really, really bad, dented up a few different spots. And we actually had sprayed directly to the metal. We took the roof sheets off, replaced them without any issue at all. So I wouldn't be overly concerned, but I understand the question on that side too. Yeah. So anyway, good question on that end too.
So we're getting more people come in, but I love some of you saw our TikTok today and our YouTube short with the I Heart Charlie. So that was kind of a jab at Cody, but I see a lot of I Heart Charlies. We've got Amanda. She's actually put 2 of those on there. Josh is on there. I see the McCormicks. We met with them this morning. Christopher and his lovely wife. We had a good meeting with them this morning, actually in the office here. So let's get to another question. Catherine Starkey wants to know, first off, she says, I love Charlie. I appreciate that. Thank you, Catherine.
First of all, Charlie does all these things about him without asking me. And he goes, oh, by the way, I'm giving away money or giving away.
Technically, I came to your door, knocked on the door, and you didn't answer. So I just went ahead and said, I'll give away $50.
Yeah, sorry about that.
So Catherine asked, what is the turnaround time from start to interior completion if we contracted the interior? I would probably say to that's a tough one for us to answer if we're not contracting. I know when we get to the interior portion, I mean, there are times that we're 12 weeks and we're completed. 12 to 14 weeks, we're done. So that's a tough one to answer. If we were going to do one, most times I'll tell customers, 6 to 8 months. We like to be done with them in 6 months or less. Bigger builds can take a little bit longer, but if you're contracting out that interior locally, that's another tough one that's kind of hard for us to answer.
Catherine, the best advice I can give you on that really is to, if you're doing it locally, you're not doing it with us on that side, get you a good set of specs of what you want to do in every room, and make sure that all of your selections are done early as you can. And that'll make sure that if you pick something out that may be out of stock or is a longer lead time, you're a little ahead of the game on that side too. Preparation on the front end of the house prevents delays on the back end. And that's what the best advice I give you on that side too. So on a standard house like Charlie's saying, I'm saying 2,000-ish square feet heated and cooled. We can finish one out once the steel is up in about 12 weeks. We've done some as fast as 6.
Yeah.
If it's really big and really detailed and really crazy, we're doing one right now. I'm really excited to show you guys a little bit for a fella locally that very, very original style, very unique for Mr. Kagan. That's going to be really neat. It's an animal sanctuary type thing, but he has some of the most unique finishes I've ever seen. His floor to 15-foot ceilings, floor to ceiling tile on the walls in the kitchen.
Yeah.
So something like that may take 3 weeks. And if you're doing sheetrock or something material that's a lot faster, obviously your finish out's faster, but depends on the finish out type to answer your question. But prepping ahead of time is the best advice to try to get done as fast as you can.
All right. So next question we're going to cover. Let's see. First off, we've got GOB. Hello from New Mexico. Hello. Thank you for joining us. The next question we're going to have is it possible to schedule our own transportation? I'm assuming this is referring to a kit package.
Yeah, sure.
Is it possible to schedule our own transportation? And this is from Wendell. If so, what equipment is required? Basically, I guess when we drop that equipment, when we drop the steel there, what equipment is going to be needed?
Yeah. So we recommend a telehandler, which is the industry's kind of a standard when you're building a metal building. You don't have to have that if you're good enough on a forklift. But with metal beams and purlins and sheets and stuff, they tend to be really long and can be in odd places. So I really recommend to have something that you can try to grab wherever it's on the trailer. I've unloaded buildings before with an old tractor with forks on it. So I'm not saying that's a must-have. The easiest transition is a telehandler. That's what we recommend on that side too. If you're picking it up from us, we load everything for you. That's not an issue at all. We have forklifts, telehandlers, all that stuff here at our local fabrication shop. But if it's something you're doing on site that we're unloading for you, just like the video that we sent out a few weeks ago that showed one of the kits we sent out there in Oklahoma, that actually showed the telehandler itself. So you get an idea of what that is. So very common. They're a little pricier than a traditional forklift, but much more maneuverable and really ideal for a metal building if that's what you're going to do.
Okay, so Scrog 13, the next question that we're going to cover there, and we've got over 30 people in the room right now, so we really appreciate that. Thank you guys for joining us. Scrog 13, the question we put there was, do y'all help with finding land to build on? And I'll cover that one.
Cover that, yeah.
So we do and we don't. We can help. We do have some local realtors that we have a pretty good relationship with. You mentioned Mr. Kagan. That's a really good situation there. I used to be a teacher coach. A friend of mine that coached with me was a realtor, and so I reached out to him and told him, hey, I've got a customer that's looking for land, and it wound up being a perfect fit. We've got him land through him, and then we wound up building the barn door for him. So there are situations where we can reach out for you. We have a lot of customers who are not local, maybe from California, Colorado.
He was from LA, actually.
Yeah, he was actually from California. Yeah. And so we just reached out, talked to some realtor friends, and found pretty much exactly what he was looking for. And it was all able to come together. It doesn't always work out that well, but we do have local realtors here that we can talk to about finding land and helping find what you want and something to build on.
Cool.
So let's see. Free beer and hot dogs. Sorry, that's the username. Free beer and hot dogs. I love it. If I have 5 acres in Athens, Texas, can I finance a barn door with the land prep as well, like driveway and septic? So can I finance everything in together?
Yeah. That's really the most common thing. We actually have a really exciting podcast coming up with a local lender that's going to come on that has a lot of experience in home finance. And with interest rates just dropping, if y'all have seen that recently, and I'm expecting another drop in the spring, I'd imagine a lot of home building going on across the U.S. But normally in most cases, when you're financing that, the bank normally wants all or nothing kind of thing. So they want to finance the land, the house, everything else along with that too. So that was something I definitely recommend. There's kind of a misconception I think people have with building your own home. We are living in a generation of DIYers. They watch Chip and Joanna Gaines, that watch all the other stuff.
I can find anything on YouTube.
Yeah,
I can find out how to do it.
And I have no problem with that. That's a good way to look at stuff. I appreciate people investigating themselves. That's where you found us, on YouTube, looking for stuff. But at the same time, banks are hesitant a lot of times to finance a homeowner building it out themselves there too, because of lack of experience. And the bank ultimately is going to be holding the bag if anything goes wrong on that side too.
Yeah.
So what I recommend, before you do any building on your own, I wouldn't start a partial build. I wouldn't do anything at all before you go to a bank, and make sure you fit in their parameters. So say you have $100,000 in cash. You start your build, you start your dirt, your concrete, your building, and you got partially finished. Then you want to go to a bank. I don't recommend doing that at all. I would go ahead of time, make sure you roll all under one so they know what's going on, because sometimes people have trouble getting financing on a partially finished project because the value's not there.
For sure. All right, let me scroll through here. I'm going to go back up to the top. And Amanda, I'm not going to try to pronounce the last name because you'll be mad at me if I get it wrong. But Amanda wanted to know, she had a basic question. She said, how long do barn doors really last before the metal starts having issues? She said, I know there are environmental factors, but just a rough idea of how long you can expect a metal building like we build to last. And then the second part of that is fire safety. Apparently she's had an experience with a trailer that went up in flames.
Sure.
So wondering if barn doors like these with metal buildings, are they prone to go up in flames and burn?
Sure. That's a good question on that side. I'll answer the first part as far as how long they're supposed to last. We use a couple different kinds of panels. We use a SMP paint, which is really common. You'll look that up. Any manufacturer will sell that. You'll look up that, and we use a Kynar based as well. When you do both of those there too, the paint ranges based on the manufacturer, 35 to 40 years without, they guarantee it to not the chalk or actually any kind of rust at all for 35 or 40 years. The structure itself really doesn't have a time frame on that, honestly. So our engineer actually, when he designs that, or when another engineer designs that for you, there's not a time stamp on it there too. I think the lifespan is maybe 80 years for what's there. But there's not like a time frame on the structure itself. I would just tell you the sheeting themselves, the manufacturing, that is what they say 35, 40 years is what they would say on that side too. What was the second? Oh, the fire. Yeah. So another good question on that. They tend to be less more fire resistant than a traditional home because it is mostly metal. All of our structure is steel.
Yeah.
You can still burn wood, obviously there too, but all of our components are flame retardant on that side, and most barn doors are. We don't do post frame, as you've seen in our videos. Post frame is a wood frame building. Nothing wrong with that. That's just not something we do. And then on that end too, so it is more flame retardant because there's less flammable material pretty much on that end too. So good question on that side there too, but that'd be my answer. Another thing you might want to ask, talk to your local insurance agent that you may deal with there too, and ask them that question. Do we get a break on our insurance, fire break, because a metal home I live in? A lot of cases, somewhere around here in Texas for sure, you can get a pretty big break for different variables on your home, depending on how it's written on that side too. So I would definitely check with your local insurance agent.
Okay. So I'm going to go to, we've got several of them coming in here. I'm going to try to cover this one as best I can. This is from Dwayne Smith. Do you have any contractors you work with near Franklin, North Carolina? So the immediate answer to that is going to be no, we do not. We don't know any just off the top of our head, but we are always looking for contractors to partner with and look and work with. Now, when it comes to our kit packages, like we said before, we are now offering that we could travel to North Carolina and contract out that labor and get the building erected for you. So we would find a contractor in that situation to come in and erect the building for us. But as far as the interior finish and the turnkey aspect of that build, that would be something that you would need to try to find a local contractor. And we have said before in videos, or I've said before, we would love to talk to contractors.
Yep.
So if you're a contractor that happens to be here or just kind of stumbles across our channel somewhere, or a contractor who's interested in getting into, hey, this Barndominium thing is kind of catching on, I'd love to look into it and see how that would work in his situation or her situation. We would love to talk to them about working with us or partnering with us all over the U.S. because we get customers calling and emailing from all over the United States wanting us to build turnkey. And we because of our contractors, we have to stay within a 90-mile radius, probably is max of what we want to go. And that being said, if we go outside of that, we do need contractors that we can partner with and work with. So the direct answer to that is no, we don't at this time know right off the top of our head contractors near Franklin, North Carolina. But we're always open to looking into that and doing some research and trying to find out what we can do to find a contractor there.
So, and not to mention, part of our kit, we're offering now to help on the erection side of the kit. And there's a lot of reasons behind that. I know that a lot of people have never seen a metal building built, or they don't know what quality is and what it isn't. So part of our offering now is actually one of our representatives. I'm actually going to go to a couple of them here this new year we have coming up, and stay on site the entire job and actually make sure it's done. We sign off on it. We are the checker for you and show you why we're doing it that way. We have scope of works. We have quality inspections there on that side. All that other stuff that we do for all of our builds locally here too, that we make sure that when we leave, you're happy with your build and it has our rubber stamp of approval on that side. I did see a question down there earlier about cost of material. I saw.
Yeah, so we had a question. Let me find that one real quick. Right here from Roger N. The question is, are you encountering any supply chain issues or shortages of building products? If so, do you expect the supply issues to continue in the future?
So if you watch the market, U.S. steel is up a ton right now. We've received a price increase letter from all of our mild steel guys from 7 to 8%, going to happen in January. That's going to happen nationwide. So I'm not really anticipating any supply chain issues, honestly. I am expecting pricing to go up, unfortunately, on our end as well too. But I have not seen any issues at all as far as getting deliveries. We had a mini storage deliver coming up that was 35,000 feet that we got in, I think, 5 or 6 days from whenever we ordered it. So it wasn't an issue on that side. So not supply chain issues, but I'm expecting some pricing to go up here in the near future though.
Okay, so I'm going to tackle this one. Not tackle, but I'm going to take this one from Paul from Nepal. Are y'all hiring videographers, video editors? No, we have a really, really good one. This guy right here.
Yeah, they couldn't see.
Yeah, they can't see me, but it's me. So we're not hiring videographers or video editors right now. But the question really is, how do y'all feel about doing videos like the Perkins Builder Brothers that covers the entire process of the build? So one of the things that I'm going to try to take on in 2024 with our video, with our YouTube, is a how-to series where we basically start from the beginning, from dirt work, rough in, and slab work, and talk about what our process entails, how that process works, and try to spend some time. And we'll probably put up 15 to 20 videos of just how that process works. It's an advantage for you, like Cody said earlier, the DIY craze right now. Everybody wants to DIY, and those videos can help with that. Mm-hmm. And then if we have contractors in your area who are questioning, I've never done this before. I don't know how they would frame these. So hopefully these videos can kind of help with that a little bit. But that is something that we're looking to take on in 2024 with our YouTube videos and TikToks and all of our social medias. We're going to start tackling the step-by-step process of how we at 1845 build our steel frame Barndominiums.
Yeah, and one thing too I was going to mention about that in the upcoming future, probably start of Q2, end of Q1, with our kits will come a 3D rendering. You actually have a QR code that you'll get along with a set of drawings you're going to have. Yeah. That actually you can see how everything assembles together. You'll see every bolt, nut connection, all in real time. So that's an exciting kind of a video how-to 3D rendering, along with the plans we've seen with those that are stamped. Yeah. Along with that.
So we've got a couple of questions on how do you contact us as far as getting in touch with us or scheduling an appointment. So that's something that we actually added today to our website as far as scheduling an appointment. We have made everything basically online. So rather than calling the office and trying to, having one of the secretaries that may not know our schedule and video schedule, things like that, you can go to our website, and we have a page called that's Get Started. And on that Get Started page, we actually added a button today, an online link for you to go in and schedule an appointment to meet with us. We can meet in person here in our office. We can do a phone conference with you, or we can do a Google Teams meet or a Zoom meet or whatever. Mm-hmm. But we're trying to make that an easy process for you. We actually had our first online booking today. Yeah. You can book 60 days out. Or you can book up to 4 hours ahead of time. Just, you can't come in 30 minutes before and say, hey, I'm on my way. I'll be there. But we wanted to make that easy for you. So if you'd like to schedule a meeting with us in person, over the phone, online, just let us know. What do you...
Your wife commented, sent you a text. It said she can't comment. She said she can't comment. Said
my wife is texting me. She is trying so hard to comment, but she can't. It says, "I heart Charlie. What time are you coming home for dinner?"
Yeah.
So I don't know. Depends on how long this goes. So we may have to stop and get Whataburger. Who knows? But I did want to point out, if you can't see, I do have my Philadelphia Eagles chair.
Gosh,
Now,
yeah.
Cody is the world's largest Philadelphia Eagles fan.
Yeah.
And somebody commented in one of the videos that I had my Philadelphia Eagles. That is Cody's chair. I do not lay claim to that. I don't cheer for just about any football team. All right, so let's get back to the questions. Let's see. We just sent you an email. We can't wait to get the process started. Thank you, Tatted Joker. We will look into that tomorrow. Let's see.
Those are right there too. He said he had heard that we take over 6 months for the shell.
Yeah. How long does it take to get the steel building done? I've heard you guys take over 6 months for the shell.
Yeah. So complete honesty on that, is Jason, right?
Jason Fisher.
Yeah. So yeah, Jason, I can't say that every process has gone perfect through there too. There's a couple of variables with that too. So if we're doing it in the spring when it's really wet, or if the foundation doesn't go well, or whatever it may be, we are striving to get the best product we can on that side too. Have some of them run longer than what I'd like. Absolutely, they have there too. But from the past, 5 or 6 months there too, we have really tried to nail that down as good as we can with the workload we have, with scheduling, with the foundation, getting that done, with the size of the build. All those other things are really important. We actually poured one here locally in Hallsville. That's a kind of a hybrid metal building, barn door type thing. We poured 3 weeks ago, and actually we'll be done renting it, I think, on Friday. So
awesome.
Yeah, it was a really quick process on that side too. So I can't say we never did that there too, but we're striving to do the best we can, and we're very upfront. So if you come to us and there's a situation that you are needing a certain time frame, and say, look, man, we have 3 months of dirt work, or this far out, or we can't get dirt to your location, that all is possible. But from whenever we're actually starting the job, we try to get you in there as soon as possible. We try to get the building done in about 8 to 10 weeks. That's kind of our goal from the day you sign to there. And we have one job that we've talked to a customer about that it's going to take weeks and weeks and weeks for the dirt work.
Yeah.
I'm talking probably eight or 9 weeks, because it's so much being done.
Yeah, you've got retaining walls that come into play there, and there's a lot of things, because we've got to make sure that the foundation is set and ready and stable before we do anything else.
Sure.
Yeah.
But great question. Again, we're not perfect by any ways, but we try to be honest and upfront with our customers if that runs into that. But we're hitting our goals right now. Honestly, we've done a good job of that.
Okay. Let's see. I'm trying to go through here and make sure. Do you have a network in Florida?
Oh my gosh, we live in Texas, man. In-N-Out is not better than Whataburger. I'm sorry.
What?
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. If I had an In-N-Out, I've never tried In-N-Out.
It's not bad. It's not bad. Yeah.
Go Cowboys. There you go. All right. Birds fan, not a good game.
Amen, brother.
Correct.
We got beat up last night. Amen.
Okay, so I'm going to let you tackle this one because you're a foundation guy.
Yeah.
What are the benefits in the long term for a lifted slab foundation? Floods, animals, etc.
A long time ago when I first started doing this, people would ask me, can I do this on a barn door? Can I do this on a barn door? Before they were even called barn doors, when they were just called a metal home. I built my first metal home, fully turnkey, in 2007. I've done a ton of shells before that. Living quarters and metal buildings have been a thing for a long time. Just the name barn door has become a thing. I'd like to know who invented the name, honestly. But essentially with that, you can do whatever you want to if you want to spend the money on it. So I prefer not a lifted slab personally, because they cost so much money. I prefer to raise the elevation of if you can, of the dirt pad to where you're not in that flood elevation anymore for what's there, to limit any exposure. Can you do piers? Can you do all those other things? Can you raise it up there? You absolutely can. But it is a very large expense, so I really don't recommend that. But if you're in a situation where you have to do that because of your HOA or because of where you live, that is doable. But it just goes back to more expensive foundation, which we try to keep everything as cost effective as we can.
Sorry. Hi, Dad. My dad commented. Sorry. So I want to go back. Light Seeker, I apologize. I read yours out and we went right by it. You asked if we have a network in Florida. So we do actually have a builder in Gainesville, Florida, who has actually come to Texas, visited with us, spent the day with us, talked about what we do, what our process is. And so we do have a contact in the Gainesville area, but at this time right now, that's about it. And I think he's about a 50-mile radius was what he told us, 40 to 50 miles outside of there, because it's not I don't think he does Barndominiums full time.
Yeah.
It's kind of a side gig deal that he does. He does turnkey builds and interior finishes. But we do have somebody in Gainesville, but outside of that, we would just need to do some research and see what we can find out.
And we're working towards that too, guys. It's as the demand comes. Tennessee and Florida are real hot with us as far as the calls we get. I'm very anxious to go out and build a relationship with people down there too. I'm always hesitant to find the first guy that comes up and says we'll build for you, and when they don't do our quality of work or something that they'll stand behind, because that's something that is very near and dear to my heart is making sure they stand behind what they do.
All right. So my dad asked, what is the smallest square foot building you have? Mama might need a tiny house in your yard one day. So if my mom needed to move in, mother-in-law suite, we do have, we've got our little white farmhouse, our Lone Star, and we are actually probably in 2024. We've got 2 others that we're getting ready to add. We have the Joplin, and we have one that's going to be called the Noonday that we've actually built. We've got the plan for it. And so square foot and can be modified. But to kind of elaborate on that a little bit, 800 square foot, everybody always asks us cost per foot, and that's going to be the golden question, the cost per square foot. Those costs per square foot for those tiny homes can get really high, just because they're such a small square footage and small space. But we do have mother-in-law suites. We've done those with, what people call a true barndo, a shop building with a mother-in-law suite in there. And so I'm really excited about the Noonday when that one comes out in 2024. When we get that on our website, I'm really excited for you guys to see that one.
And one thing too, a lot of people have commented that's not a true tiny house. A true tiny house is 300 or 400 square feet. I don't disagree with that there too. But for what we do, for the cost efficiency, for the best way to achieve that, that's what we consider a small, tiny house on that end.
Yeah. Do you have a network in Arkansas? Sorry for all the questions. It's okay, Daddy. That's what we're here for, is to answer questions. Kind of the same answer. The kit packages, we've only had these available really for 6 months or so, 6 months to a year. So, in all honesty, full transparency, the network that we have as far as contractors that are working with us is relatively small right now. That doesn't mean we can't find contractors and we don't have contacts. We're not far from Arkansas, so, it kind of depends on mileage there. But if you're looking at North Arkansas, Northwest Arkansas, things like that, Missouri line, we would just have to do some research and find out. I mean, obviously we can send somebody there to erect the kit and erect that building for you. But as far as the interior, we would just need to make some phone calls and reach out and see what we can find.
Yeah. One thing I want to say too, I have right at 20 years experience in the industrial, commercial steel erection, steel metal buildings. Some of our guys that have worked for me, they worked for my dad before. My dad passed a few years ago. Has worked in the metal building industry longer than I've been alive, since the late 70s. And so we have a ton of experience that travel. One of our crews right now is in Oklahoma, working on a project there. And so we can travel. Again, we just try to make it as cost effective as we can for our customers that side. And we can travel wherever in the United States. We have crews that will travel, but it's obviously not as cost effective to get somebody local there that we can oversee versus putting up 8 or 9 guys on a location.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so I'm going to tackle, I saw this one earlier. Let me scroll and make sure I find it here, because we've had it asked twice. It was VA loans. And so the question was, and I apologize, I scrolled right past it, if we've ever used VA loans, and I wanted to call them out. So the question was, have we ever used VA loans? There it is. Josh asked, have we ever worked with clients using VA for their barndo, and how was the process? So I'm going to start with that, and I'll let him finish. We have worked with VA loans. We do have, the big question we always get is, do we have a VA ID number? Are we registered for VA loans? And the answer to that is yes. And I'll let Cody elaborate a little bit about that.
So the VA is not that big a deal for us to work with. Their inspection process and their draw process is different than any other bank. It's just a lot more paperwork. So whenever we do VA stuff, it actually costs a little bit more money, because we've spent 20 and 30 hours before filling out applications just to get a VA build started. They require a lot of more inspections that if you live outside the county, in Texas anyway, if you live outside of a city, there's really not a whole lot of inspections to happen there too. They require third-party inspections, not a big deal. So that's an expense. They require other things that may not be required otherwise. So the VA is doable. You're going to spend a little bit more money on that, and you'll know that if you've looked at the loan package. But not a problem to do that at all. It's just, again, more paperwork. And that's the only kind of drawback with VA. Other than that, they've been very easy to work with as far as that goes.
All right, we've got a question from Jared that I'll take. We're interested in a modified floor plan. How is the cost calculated? I'm going to assume that you're talking about the cost of the plans themselves. So there's essentially two routes you can go there. We can either take one of our stock plans and modify that, and it's basically a $1,500 flat rate, unless we just get an astronomical amount of modifications that need to be made. But in most cases, that's a $1,500 flat rate for a modified stock plan.
Yeah.
Now, if it's a fully custom plan where we have customers that come in and say, I found this plan on this website, I'd like for your team to draw that up for us and get it going. So we would charge a little bit extra for that. Those can be upwards of $2,500 or so, depending on the extent of what we're having to do. So that would be kind of a case-by-case basis. But I think maybe what you're asking is if you take one of our stock plans and modify, it's going to be a $1,500 flat rate for those.
Right.
And we set that up where we pay $500 up front. We try to get that plan modified. We get a couple of rounded revisions to get everything exactly the way you want it. Once you give us a thumbs up and say, hey, that plan, that's it, that's what I want, we'll move over into the construction plan phase where we get the electrical, the plumbing, and we'll let you make some modifications to that and make sure everything's correct. So
for sure.
We have a lot of customers that we're not even building for. Yeah. They're just contacting us. They want the barndo, they want a barndominium, they love our 12-inch thick walls. Yeah. That's kind of our calling card. And we can do 8-inch thick walls. We can draw the plans however you'd like. Yeah. But we have a lot of customers who do, and that's something that maybe a lot of people don't know. We do plans only. Yeah. If you're interested in just getting barndo plans drawn, we can help you with that as well. It doesn't necessarily mean that we're building for you or kit or shell or anything like that, but we can provide those pretty easily.
Yeah, let's do a few more, then we'll do the giveaway there. To what time is it?
I haven't even put them in the pot yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're okay on time. Yeah. We'll run until about 8 o'clock, and then we like to do this every few weeks. And we really enjoy doing this here too. We'll get better at it. Obviously, we're in the podcast world.
Yeah, first timers. Feel free. We've got videos, coming up here in the next couple of weeks, and leave comments there. We'll pick through those and find some questions that we can answer on the live stream. But
go to the very top there too. It says about color selection there too.
Oh yeah, where can I find the color selections?
Good question. If we'll be happy to send you a color chart on that side. Shoot us an email. It's sales@team1845, or go and do an information request on our website, and we'll be happy to shoot you over a PDF of that, and we'll even mail you a hard copy of that as well, so you can actually see the color chips as well.
All right, so we've got two here. Paul Wetzig, I hope I pronounced that correct. Do you use thicker gauge metal than 28 gauge?
Yeah, great question. So the standard in the metal industry for what we do are 22, which is really, really rare, 24, which is usually in our market designed for a certain concealed fastener panel, standing seam roof. 26 is kind of 90% of the market, 95% of the market. That's what we use. 29 is a lighter gauge, more of an agricultural panel. I don't use 29 ever on anything, just a personal preference for me. So I use 26 and thicker. So 26 or 24 is what's on our barndos.
Yeah, 26 gauge.
Yeah, 26 is most of our stuff there too. But again, our PE designs the houses and the shells and the kits, all this other stuff based on what it needs to be.
Okay, what is PE?
Oh, yeah, professional engineer. Okay. Good question. He's a structural engineer that actually designs it through our and stamps it. If I ask him to do that, there, all of our structure, everything that's done anywhere in the country. So we're actually we're stamped in about 10 states, but I can get a stamp in any state that there is on that too. And our PE actually has been in structural engineering for a long time and does a really good job of that too.
All right. So we got a couple that just came in here. Let's see. Let me scroll down. Well, maybe. There we go. Have you ever come across a county that doesn't allow barndominiums? I don't know that I have. Maybe HOA.
Yeah.
Sometimes you run into HOA that may not want to build barndominiums there, or they have restrictions on that. But I don't know if I've come across a county.
Yeah. No, I haven't. Texas is, I've built barndominiums inside of the city limits, and we've done that several times there too. That was kind of a unique thing because the permitting office don't know how to really handle it. So they actually, my grandparents' house unfortunately burned a couple years ago. We built them a house last year, and they treated their house like a commercial property as far as the structural design, foundation. It was kind of funny, way more than it had to be, but we were happy to provide those plans. And so I haven't been told no on anything as long as you have the proper documentation on that side.
Okay. The one right above that. Okay, so I'll answer this one. Roger wants to know, do you have an average square foot build price? I know you find finish out, or I know finish out can raise that, but do you have a basic ballpark range, for example, low end, medium, and high end? Okay, so I can answer that. I can't give you an exact number. That's really hard. That's a build by build number. Right now, I would say we try to typically give you a mid to high end number on that. We don't want to assume that you're penny pinching. We're trying to build your dream home, a custom dream home for you. So I'm going to break it down into 3 different aspects. We do have a video that covers this. We actually had a discussion. We did a podcast type discussion about cost and how we go into that. But for the heated and cooled space itself, the living space, not porches, not shop, garage, or anything, just your heated and cooled space, we're typically going to be around the $185 mark, $185 a square foot. Now that can change. The square footage can change that. The interior finishes can change that. There are some factors there, but that's a good starting point is $185
Now there's a kicker to that too, because we've seen comments that, oh my God, that's the most expensive thing I've ever heard. And we've heard, oh, that's pretty much in line. That $185 assumes all of this. It assumes $10,000 or $12,000 in dirt work, foundation work. $15,000 in that.
Yeah.
It assumes us doing a aerobic system in there too, which is very expensive. It assumes 100 foot of water service and 100 foot of electrical service underground to your house. It assumes custom cabinetry. It assumes granite. It assumes a lot of things that you don't have to do. So whenever we say that there too, that's literally the turnkey. The only thing that really doesn't, we don't put money for a lot of times, is really just landscaping. But so that 185 sounds high, but most people that give that don't include the dirt work or don't include other items that would be a higher end. We really don't do a builder grade on our stuff. We tend to do a little bit on the higher end. We can do all tile. We can do no tile. We do a lot of luxury vinyl plank. That's probably our most common floor.
Yeah.
So the 185 is a really hard thing to ask. And that's also 1,800 probably to 2,200 square feet on that side.
Yeah.
If it's 800 square feet, it's going to be a lot higher per foot.
Yeah.
If it's 3,000 square feet, depending on your finishes, it's going to be a lot less per square feet.
That's right.
So it all depends on what you're doing there too. But great question on that side.
And so just to wrap that up, so the living space is going to be about 185. If you look at porches, we're average about $35 a foot.
That's right.
And then if you're looking at a garage or shop or anything like that, you can probably assume $50 a foot.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's factors there of insulation, electrical, doors. Just kind of there's some factors in there. But that's a ballpark answer of where we would be. So if you came in the office and we were going to kind of spitball a price for you, those are the numbers that we would use. Okay, so a couple more. We've got about 10 minutes left, so we've got time to get a few more questions in
good.
here. I saw one earlier, and I'm going to try to scroll back up, and it was regarding wood burning fireplaces versus propane. Yeah, I'm going to try to find out exactly who that was. There it is. Guy Morales. Do you recommend wood burning or gas fireplace? I'm going to give you my personal preference as a wood burning stove.
I like gas.
He likes gas. From a heating standpoint, I love a wood burning stove. I just feel like it just heats the room. I usually will talk to customers, and when we're doing fireplaces, a lot of times that's aesthetics. They like the eye appeal of having a fireplace there, a big stone fireplace. If it comes down to just the practicality of it, I'm going to do a wood burning stove. But Cody likes the gas fireplace. Yeah,
we actually have a remote at our house where you hit on and it comes on. So
mine's electric, so I have a $600 electric fireplace in mine. But hey, I'll tell you this: it heats my entire house, that whole entire living area in ours. It does a good job of it because the spray foam does such a good job and it's insulated.
Yeah, so one thing too, Guy, that I would want to mention on that side too, as far as the recommendations, that's really just a personal preference on that side, whether it's a traditional stick and brick, whether it's an adobe house, whether it's a Barndominium. So it's really up to you on that side there too. That's just personal preference there too. We go through a local professional that does our fireplaces there too. We'll do the crickets and whatnot, flashing through the roof there too, but pick out what you like and go see a local professional where you're at, and we can always give us some advice if you need that on that side too.
All right, I'm gonna let you look at that one because that's your next one.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna take. Oh man, I just missed it. Oh, here we go. Do you guys need? I think that's Jose Gonzalez. Thank you, I Heart Charlie. Do you guys need electricity or water on the property to build the barn dough? The simple answer to that is probably it's great if we have those there. Those probably need to be there. We have built Barndominiums without electricity and water there. I'll give you an example. Just in my case, we had electricity there. We had a tent pole there. Those guys that are welding, they're running generators anyway. A lot of them now are battery operated equipment, or they're bringing their own generator. So electricity is is not, that's not going to delay things very much. The water end of it, I don't know that we needed water at ours until the sheetrockers got there.
Yeah, that's right.
It's great if it's there,
Yeah.
but I've told a lot of customers, hey, we can't do anything about the fact that I can't get my well dug for 6 months, or I'm 3 months away from getting electric service to my property.
Yeah, so we have a water container. If that's the case, we bring it on site during that time, and we use it temporarily there too. So you don't have to have that. I would recommend it, but it's not something you have to do the build.
Yeah,
sure.
great if you have it. It's not a deal breaker if you don't, for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so Josh Marine says, do you guys prefer open cell or closed cell spray foam, and why? You want to take that one?
Absolutely.
Bring it on.
So good question on that, Josh. So we do both. Probably 90% of our stuff's open cell. I'm not anti-open. Gosh, dog, I'm talking backwards.
We're not anti-closed.
We're not anti-closed cell. Closed cell, as you know, is more expensive. However, there are benefits to that. It gives you an air barrier, a water barrier on that stuff too. It's a very good product. It pretty much feels like rubber when you get done with it. Very, very good product. But for our applications, on our builds, the last probably maybe year now, we do a couple of things. We tie deck or use a house wrap around our purlin, between our purlin and our sheets. We spray our open cell directly to that, and then we cover the open cell with some kind of wall finish as well too. So it's not ever exposed. I would really only I would do closed cell if it's in an open area like a garage or something like that you're going to have something bumping up against it. You're going to damage it. You will damage open cell 100% of the time.
Durability and rigidity.
Durability, for sure. But as far as the actual, the R value. So the R value is like 3.5 per inch on open, 7 inches on closed. However, the dollars per, you're going to pay almost double for the same amount of R value from open to closed. So the cost is in our area anyway, is significantly cheaper for the open cell, and that's what I would recommend on the side for cost basis. As long as you prep it properly, do everything properly on that end too. Unless you're in an area that's very high traffic, a lot of damage, you're building. We built an indoor soccer field before.
Oh yeah.
If you're going to have a lot of damage there, I wouldn't go open cell then. I would go closed. But in some cases there too, I built a house several years ago where the homeowner had done some investigation. We actually did a layer of closed cell, 1 inch closed cell, and then sprayed open cell to that to get the R value, but to get the vapor barrier as well. So that's an option as well, to try to save both on both ends, using a combination of both. So that's, hope that answers your question a little bit on that.
Okay, so one that just popped up that I'm going to grab is MC is the username. Do you all build in the Toledo Bend area? And so the answer to that is yes. And we have a video of a barn that we actually named the Toledo Bend Barndominium. Had a beautiful view out over the lake. It was actually our Shelby floor plan, 1,350 square foot, had some huge porches all the way around it, and just had a beautiful view from the front porch area out there. But so yes, we do. Now Toledo Bend covers a large area, so there are some areas there that are pushing that 90-mile mark, and so we try to stay around that 90-mile. But we can definitely offer shell build out there, obviously a kit package. So the turnkey versus shell, we would just need to look at the mileage, but the immediate answer is yes, we do build in the Toledo Bend area.
Yeah, Toledo Bend's a big lake.
Yeah,
sure.
It is.
Yeah.
It covers a lot of space. Okay, let me see. Will you build in Tennessee? Yes, we would. We could definitely we can
do your shell for sure.
Yeah, we can do the shell for sure.
Yeah. We love Tennessee. A lot of good friends in the Franklin area.
Okay, let me scroll back up here. Smallest square footage we can build. We covered that one. We may have covered the majority of them.
Yeah, we had one more question from the other day. Do you remember what that one was?
Oh yeah, let me go back and look. Give me just a second, guys, and I'll go pull that one up. Give me 2 seconds.
What? Yeah.
All right, so we had financing.
Yeah.
Okay, from Bridget Borins. Says, Charlie, you mentioned in one of your videos that 1845 can finance up to $100,000 on materials. Mm-hmm. Please explain. Also, is it possible to have a complete turnkey for $100,000?
Yeah.
You want me to take
No,
that?
you have at it.
Okay. Yeah. So we do financing up to $100,000, and it's not just materials. We would finance basically as much of it as we could for that $100,000. And so, is it possible to complete a turnkey for $100K? My honest answer and transparent answer is that's going to be very hard to accomplish.
Yep.
Now, are there situations where you're doing 95% of the work DIY and you're able to take your time and you don't have to hire a contractor and you're not having us provide a service for you, things like that? Yes. Are there possibilities that you can get close to that on a small build? Yes. But if you look at all of our floor plans, and this is a very common question as far as the cost, what can I do for under 150, under 100? It's going to be very hard to find a build for $100,000 or less. That's just the honest truth.
Yeah.
We're talking price per foot, and I was visiting with the McCormicks today, and we had a conversation about price and things like that. And they're getting quotes upwards of $300 a foot in some places for a full build. And so, just the answer that question, both of those. Yes, we do offer the $100,000 up to $100,000 financing in house, and then can you build one turnkey for $100K? I'm not going to say no. But it is going to be very difficult to get a turnkey build inside and out for $100K.
Yeah, and like I was mentioning before, as far as the financing stuff, it is, to nobody's surprise. If you build most of it yourself and subcontract it yourself, you absolutely can do it cheaper than we can. We're not ever saying that you can on that side too. So, but at the same time, I would really highly recommend you to have some know-how and know what you're doing on there too, to know what's good, what's bad, especially in your mechanical trades and go that into. So yeah, the $100,000 would be hard.
Yep.
Do you want to try to get pick our winner for this?
Yeah, I'm going to let you answer this one, and then I'm going to try to get a winner because Cody loves foundation, and so I believe.
What are you talking about?
The last question.
That's not foundation. He's asking for a cell.
Well, it's a soil sample.
Oh.
Soil report. I think that's what that's asking. Now, Cameron, you correct me if I'm wrong.
Do you need
a soil report? I'm assuming it's soil
report
for the engineered plans. And and I'm going to have you elaborate a little bit on this. Talk a little bit about, because we have so many people asking Tennessee, Pennsylvania, all this. And a lot of people ask us, am I going to get a foundation plan with this? And we tell them it is possible for us to provide that. So elaborate a little bit on that, and I'm going to work on getting our winner for our cash money.
There's a couple of ways you can actually engineer a slab. You can have an assumption based on the knowledge of the area. So in where we live in Northeast Texas, there's a good assumption on some of the dirt, what the compaction is based on experience. So one of our local PEs that I've worked with for a long time, been a PE for 55 plus years, and we can go look at an area and we have a reasonable idea based on how long it's been compacted or how long it's actually been sitting there and hadn't been touched, undisturbed soil. So whenever we know that, we can make an assumption and we can do a foundation plan off of that, do an engineered plan off of that. However, if it's an area that is not common to us, which is most of the United States there too, we do require soil samples on our end too. We'll find a local contractor. You have to find the building site and go through that route and actually do that part there too. Now there are places here. We've done soil samples a lot here over the few years. We have a build coming up that's really excited to show you guys. It's a really large one that soil samples were done on it before actually we took the project on, because it has actually an underground stream underneath the actual property. Yeah. So we had to do some significant foundation on that side too. So unfortunately, yes, in most areas you have to have a soil report done. Unless you have an engineer in the area that's very familiar with that and doesn't have an issue assuming that the foundation is what it is. But nonetheless, that's kind of the case. Now, saying that too, what we build here locally, we could actually engineer if we wanted to on our foundations. We build the same as an engineer would in a certain area, because we know compaction, we know what we're doing there too. We've had some we've had to bring in 20 loads of dirt. Yeah. That's really hard to get good compaction on that side too. So when I do that side, we'll compact it, run with a sheet foot roller, and then do a soil test. And they'll tell you compaction is great to here, not to here. And a lot of times they want you to go to undisturbed soil if somebody's heard that before. So that's what we do on that side too. So yes, unfortunately, in most cases you have to have a soil test, but not the end of the world on that either.
Okay, so we're going to pick a winner for the I Heart Charlie Cash Money gift card that we're going to send out. So Cody, pick a number between 1 and 15.
Ooh. 3.
Okay, let's see. So I'm just going to count down. 1, 2, 3. Josh Marine. All right, so Josh Marine, you are going to be the winner of our $50 gift card that we're going to send out. He's the third one. You pick 3. That's the number 3.
Are you still on, Josh?
I Heart Charlie. Josh, let us know if you're here. If you can leave a comment real quick and let us know that you're still on here. What I'll do is I'm going to reach out to you and try to get, if you'll send me an email address here, if you'll leave us your email address here, we will get that card sent out to you. I'll make sure Cody write you a check or something like that.
We'll send you a digital gift card for that too,
Yeah.
man. For that. Oh yeah, he's
Oh,
there.
there he is, Josh Marine.
Good
Okay,
deal, Josh.
if you'll just share your email address on here, or you can email it to me. Or,
don't do that.
Yeah, you can email it to me. I'll
Give me
reach
all your
out to
personal
you.
information
Yeah.
on this chat box.
Social
Josh.
security, address, phone number, anything you want to provide to me, we can do that. So we're gonna wrap this up. We're gonna do one more question. Okay, I'm gonna have Cody answer one more about slab, and then we're gonna wrap things up for the evening.
And what we'll do, guys, we'll probably holidays are coming up there too. We probably won't do one next week, but we'll try to do these every couple of weeks as long as Charlie's schedule is there. I know it's late at night, and I'm sure his wife's missing him at home.
I doubt it.
Him and the kids. But this is fun for us, and we
Yeah.
just picked a time out on that side, and hopefully we'll kind of critique the times, but we enjoyed the times and look forward to hearing back from you guys. So
Yeah, we had almost 70 people here. Right now we've got let's look at our number right now. Currently we've got 63.
All
We were up
right.
as high as I think 68 at one time. So we really appreciate that for the first one, and we'll try to do a little bit better job of getting everything set up next time. So the question is, do you build directly on slab or do you build off plans? Oh, piers. I'm sorry. Totally misread that. Do you build directly on slab or do you build off piers?
We can do both. That's a good question. I've done both on that side there too. So we do require some type of piers for our columns to sit on there too, but I've done both. So usually it's kind of one hand or the other. So if you're going to do only on piers, your piers are significantly deeper because the slab's not supporting the building like you traditionally would with a slab. But you can do either way. You have to do deeper piers if you're not doing a slab, but piers or slabs is good on that side too. So I did see one thing that said where are we at? We're in Northeast Texas. We're just west or east of Longview.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
if you
not
know
far
that's-
from Tyler,
Yeah.
really not that far from Dallas, but that's we're Northeast Texas there. We're about 70 miles from the Arkansas line, actually. Texarkana is about 70 miles from us.
Yeah.
So we're going to wrap things up here. We really appreciate you guys. And just a little teaser, we filmed our biggest Barndominium today. It is a monster.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to have that video up after Christmas. We're, like you said, we're taking a little break here. But we have our, it's a massive, it's a big one. It's our biggest barndo. So you guys stay tuned. We're going to have that video up after Christmas, probably between Christmas and New Year's. We want to thank you. We've had a great year.
Yeah.
2024 has been awesome. We appreciate you guys who are subscribed to the channel and visit. We hope for a lot of growth during 2024, and you all are going to be a part of that. So we really appreciate it.
And one thing too, people are still commenting. I appreciate that. You can still send us questions and stuff. We'll answer those there too. But we'll do another live feed in a couple of weeks. We'll actually give you more than 1 day's notice. That's my fault on that one. We'll plan that out of time, and we'll do that and have another time for that too. But we're here every day, man. And so
right.
if you have other questions to call, feel free to reach out via email. We have a sales team that can answer your stuff or get with me on that side, and hopefully we can answer your questions there too. Even if you don't build with us, guys, we don't mind trying to help out on that side.
I've had so many conversations on the phone with people who are not building with us, but hey, we're happy to help. Whatever we can do to help answer questions about how we build, and what we do. And don't forget, you can go online to our website and schedule an appointment if you'd like to have a phone conference with us, a Zoom meeting or Google Teams meeting, or you'd like to meet in person. You can go online and set those up. Go to our webpage, go to Get Started, and click on the button there, and you can schedule an appointment with us here at 1845. Merry Christmas to you guys. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next